welcome to Kel Knits. My name is Kelly and I'm an Aussie knitter currently living in Germany, and this is my little YouTube channel where I chatter on all about my knitting and what I'm working on, and also occasionally other fibre arts. I hope you're all doing well today, and hopefully you've got some time to be working on some knitting or other craft projects today. So today's episode is going to be all about the finished objects. I have 0 whips. I haven't started anything new because I have been like a laser beam focused on clearing my needles and getting everything done. So I have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 finished objects today. And it just feels, I just feel lighter. Anyone who's watched my previous videos, you will know that I'm in the process at the moment of relocating my little family from Germany back to Australia. And anybody who's been through any move, let alone an international move, will know how much work is involved in that. So I actually haven't had a huge amount of time for knitting, but I had a lot of projects that were really at that end stage. And I just wanted to get them off my needles. And so I've been packing and working and doing all the admin stuff during the day. And in the evenings, I've been just knitting like a demon to get everything finished. So I'm feeling really good about that. Also, if you watched my last video, I talked about all my summer knitting plans. But really those plans were based on the fact that I could knit those things once I had finished all my current projects. So I've been really strict about not starting something new. It's just when much as you get, all knitters can appreciate, you get excited about the idea of casting on something new, but I've held back and I haven't, because I've just gone straight to the next whip to get it done. So I'm pleased to report that I have been successful. My last whip I finished, literally came off my needles last night, and so now I can relax a little bit and you know, maybe tonight or tomorrow I can cast on something new, which is something I can really look forward to. In theory I still do have other whips, but they were whips that I was not intending on finishing yet, but I will go through those that I have got done already. So the first one is, of course, what I am wearing. And this is my Crescendo Summer top, which is by the lovely Sophie, who's the Knit Purl Girl on Instagram. She also has a really lovely YouTube channel too, and I will link all of that information down below. This was a test knit, so the pattern isn't out yet. And I believe that she's made the decision to actually hold off on releasing the pattern until next year in the UK European spring. So it's probably not great for podcasting because you can't get the pattern yet, but actually she has this same design with this same yoke pattern in 2 other patterns, which I think are called maybe the Crescendo Blouse. I think that's what one of them's called. I've got that pattern and I always have been had that on my list to knit eventually because I really like the look of that. And the other one is like a thicker sweater, warmer one. I think maybe the Crescendo Sweater is what it's called. So I will link those down there below for you. This was knit in Crea Deluxe organic cotton, and it's a lovely cotton. I have mentioned it in previous episodes that I found it not that difficult to work with, quite comfortable to work with really. And I know that that's a big complaint for a lot of people using cotton, because it can be a bit hard on the hands and it's drier. It just doesn't, you know, move as well as wool and other blends do. And also to wear, it feels really soft, and I think it looks really nice, the yarn. So I highly recommend the yarn. Really enjoyed the pattern as well. I love the yoke, and I was not sure how it would look because obviously there's all these eyelets to create the pattern, but and I thought, oh, is that going to be, I might have to wear a top underneath, but actually today I've just got a skin colored bra on, flesh bra on, and it looks I think it looks fine. Hopefully when I edit this video I don't get a surprise, but I think it works quite well, which makes it a really good summer top, because then I don't have to wear another camisole or anything underneath it, so it's really nice and cool in the cotton. Also had a few techniques that I haven't done before. On the hem down the bottom and on the sleeves is, what's it called? It's like a folded, you fold it and sewn hem. Can't remember the actual name for the technique, which I really like the look of. I think it makes it look really, really neat and tidy. Certainly doing the hem down the bottom felt like it took me a lifetime to do. It's a slow going, but I think it's worth it. And then you have you pick up around the neckline to do an applied I-cord along the neckline, which I think also looks quite nice. I knit the size F, I think. Oh, I'll write it on the screen if I'm wrong. I think it was the size F, which from memory was for a bust size of 105 to 110 centimeters, and it's meant to have, I think 0 to 2 centimeters negative ease, positive ease, sorry. But you can probably see on this that it has, I've definitely got a lot more ease than that. When I chose the pattern, signed up for the test knit and put down what size I wanted to do, I think I must have been around about 104 centimeter chest. And I thought, because I tend to be a tighter knitter, I thought, I'm really close. I'll go to the next, that kind of larger size, with maybe I'll get slightly more positive ease, but that it should work out okay. But since that, I'm now, and I measured myself the other day, I'm probably closer to 101, 102 centimeter chest. Anyone who's watched some of my other videos might remember that I did a week's hike on the Tour de Mont Blanc, and I think that's probably contributed to my chest size getting a little bit smaller, for the moment anyway. And so I think the combination of that and then having chosen to do the slightly larger size means that it's nice and comfortable. I don't think it's massively big. I think it still looks quite nice with a pair of jeans, but I think it would look better if I had done the size below. But these are the things that happen. I find sizing and working out sizing really one of the challenges with knitting, because you are investing so much time in the creation of these garments, but sometimes it's a while. You've got to get through quite a lot before you really have a feel for the sizing. And I'm sure that as I become a more skilled knitter, I will get better at those things, but I think it's still a bit hit and miss for me. I definitely gauge swatched, and to be fair, my gauge, when I finished the garment and I checked my gauge again, my gauge is pretty good, because I went up half a needle size to accommodate for my tight knitting. So my gauge was fine, but it's just, the sizing and measurements that maybe has made it a little bit loose on me. But that's okay. It still looks nice. I still feel quite comfortable. I'm still going to wear it. I think you can see when I hold out my arms is when you can see that it's perhaps a little bit looser, but with a nice pair of jeans or denim shorts or something, it still looks quite good. My other thing about it is probably the color. I bought this yarn online, and actually the Crescendo Luxe organic cotton has quite a nice range of colors. But when it arrived, it was a little bit paler than I thought. And so I knew really from the beginning that this color was maybe not the best for me. So I'll see, simply based on the color, how much wear I get out of it. I just couldn't bring myself to buy, more yarn in a different color. And one of the advantages of it being a color I don't go for as much means that I also don't have this color in my wardrobe. And that can be nice to sometimes wear something that's a little bit different. So, and I think it looks okay, but those more pastel colors and paler colors that I love and look beautiful, they can wash me out a little bit. So that's just, you know, again, knitting, learning to knit, thinking more about the clothes that I wear. I'm thinking more about the fit, and I'm thinking way more about the colors than I think I ever used to before, which is really, really enjoyable. But I find it interesting that even when I go shopping and I'm just looking for a garment to buy, I have so much more of an awareness of the shape and the fit and the color than I ever did before. So that's kind of a fun journey for me. But anyway, now let's go and get the next finished object. Okay, I've done a full outfit change because I needed to be in a different color to show off my next finished object, the Miss May shawl by Curious Handmade. And it is so stunning. I'm so happy with this. It's just beautiful. So this was for a mystery knit along, an MKAL, and there's no more spoilers. The pattern's fully released and out there now. And I just think it's a magnificent design, and I am so happy with how it's turned out. I think it looks beautiful. It's one of these objects that you finish and it comes off the needles, and of course, especially a lace shawl, it's after you block it and it just opens up and you think, wow, I made that. So I'm feeling really proud of this one. It's knit with Skudderia. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll write it down. Pinta. And of course, also, I forgot to check, and I can't remember off the top of my head, the makeup of this one. I will write it on the screen. I think it's about 60% wool, and then it has something else in it, and maybe 20% silk. And it feels really soft and really lovely. It's the perfect yarn, I would say, for a shawl like this. It's just magnificent. And it's in the colorway Macchiato. And so I'm not sure how well it shows up on the screen, but there's just those slight changes, variations within the color as well that you get from a hand-dyed yarn, and it's just beautiful. The other reason I was thinking about this pattern and why I really am so happy with it, because it was a mystery knit along, you didn't know what it was going to look like when it started. And honestly, I think if I'd seen the pattern, I wouldn't have done it, because I would have thought, oh, that's too much work. I love knitting lace. I'm a really big fan. I definitely lean towards kind of lace patterns with a lot of lace in them, but still this is it looks like a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And I think that would have put me off. But the fact that in the mystery little knit along, there are 5 clues. And so it goes over 5 weeks. Every week you get a new clue. It really breaks it down for you and makes it really, it doesn't feel like as much work as it would have been otherwise. And I certainly didn't keep up with the clues, but I did a little bit in the beginning. So that meant even when, you know, all of them had been released, and I think I was still working on clue 3, but I knew that I was halfway through. So again, it still felt really achievable. And Helen Stewart has a really great way of writing patterns. I really like the way she does it, and I think I mentioned this before, where it's broken down and you can see exactly where you, what percentage of the way through the pattern you are, which is great for keeping you motivated, and also great for knowing how much yarn you have and if you're going to have enough left and all of that. So that's really good. And so this required 3 skeins of yarn, and I had 3 skeins of this yarn, and I have used less than 2. So I have 1 and almost a half, I think it's not quite a half, skeins left, so now I'm like, oh, what am I going to make next with this beautiful yarn? So I thought it would be really nice because it's so soft on the skin and everything. I guess that's with the silk content. I thought it might be nice, and it's probably just enough for like a little cami or something. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, this is the Miss May shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And now we have our next finished object. So here is my third finished object, which is my Rift Tee by Jacqueline Cieslak. Oh, I hope I've got that right. I literally finished knitting this and blocked it last night. So I've had it this morning in the sun, hoping to dry because I really wanted to wear it for the podcast today. And I also wanted to really get a feel for what I thought about the pattern and my final finished product with it blocked, because as suspected, a lot of the things that last night when I tried it on, I had concerns about are a lot better now that it's blocked. This is knit in Fru Valborg Allis DK, which, terrible podcaster. I've forgotten again what the mix of this yarn is, but it has alpaca in it and some other things that I will write on the screen. And it's a lovely yarn. It's in the color aubergine, and it was a real joy to work with. And again, I had 4 hanks of this yarn and I've only used 2, pretty much exactly 2 for this. So I have 2 left, so I could knit a whole one again if I wanted, or something else, because I had absolutely no problems knitting with it, but I can already feel now that I've put it on that alpaca, I can feel it. It's not bad. I just think I might be more sensitive, and so that's a future mental note for me, that really I should think carefully about buying yarn with alpaca in it, which is hard because it's such a beautiful fibre to work with. But anyway, I'm really happy with the pattern as well. It has so many different options in it. You could make it fully reversible. I haven't, because I've done the back hem. It has a split hem and the back hem is a little bit longer, which I think looks really nice, but if you did them the same, it would be reversible. It has options for breast darts in there, which I haven't done, but that's there in the pattern. It has the V-neck and they call it a boat neck, which you could do again, back or front, or one or the other, or both, or whatever. And I've done the V-neck at the front and the boat neck at the back, which I think again makes it, gives you lots of different options. And also there's information in the pattern about measuring your arms and adjusting the size of the armholes according to the size of your biceps, which just, is fantastic. So I really enjoyed having all those different options in the pattern, and I think that makes it really good value as well, and certainly makes me think I would definitely consider knitting this pattern again. It was knit on 5mm needles, so they're nice, and it also, is a slightly quicker knit than my others because I tend to often work with fingering. So I would highly recommend the pattern. It also has this lovely detail kind of under the arm, which just which is a bit of ribbing that looks really nice. What I mentioned that I had some concerns before I blocked it, which was to do with kind of the sizing. I knit the 3rd size. I didn't gauge swatch because I don't know why I didn't for this one. Oh, because I started it on holidays and I just thought, whatever, cast on, off we go, let's hope for the best. And so I was a little bit, I think you can knit this pattern with quite a lot of positive ease. And I thought, a little bit's okay, I don't necessarily want too much. And now, especially now that I've blocked it, it has given me a little bit of extra length and a little bit more ease, and I think it is a really nice fit. The only thing I would change is the V-neck. At the very end, you pick up and bind off around the v-neck, which took me 3 or 4 times to do, because honestly, pick up a knit, I know it's like a really, it's like a really basic, I guess, in terms of making garments. It's something you're going to come across in knitting all the time, and I swear every time I do it, I'm like, let's see if that works. I don't know, I feel like I'm just making it up. And usually it's okay, but when it's on the neckline, I'm like, this has to actually look okay. And I think in the end, 3 or 4 times later, I got it mostly right, but it brought in, I was so happy with how the neck was looking. And then of course, as soon as I did this, it's brought it all right in. And now the neck is much, much higher, the v-neck, than I would like. And actually, I think it would look, for me and my body, I think it would look nicer if it was a little bit lower. So last night I was thinking, do I rip that out and do it again somehow? But I wasn't sure, not sure how I would do it again and make it looser. But actually, now that it's blocked, I'm feeling a bit more comfortable about it, so I'll probably leave it how it is. If you watch my previous episodes, the last episode, I was worried about the length, and I was right to be worried, because it was looking like a bralette cropped length, which was never going to work for me. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I just ripped it all out and went back to where I started the underarms and added probably 3 extra inches of length. And yeah, and I'm quite happy with how the length sits now. It's just kind of sitting on top of my waist, which is great for wearing kind of jeans, maybe doing a little French tuck or something like that. So that's my 3rd finished object. And aside from wishing that the v-neck was slightly lower, yeah, I'm quite happy with it. My last final object I don't have here to show you, so I will insert a picture because I've already gifted it, and it is not a knitted object, it is my embroidery. I'd always planned for this embroidery project to gift it to my lovely friend Sarah, who lives here in Castle, and so I then realised, oh my gosh, I'm leaving soon, I need to get this finished. So I did, and I was just so happy with it. She loved it, she was really happy with it, the pattern is by Get Stitched Done, and she has got some really, really fantastic patterns. She's a German embroidery artist, and they're really quirky and fun and feminist, and I highly recommend them. I think I want to make one for myself. I just thought it looked really good. I love that it's kind of, yeah, sassy and quirky and cheeky and all those things. And it was the perfect gift for my friend as well. So yeah, so that was really nice to get that done and finished and gift it to a friend as part of my farewell. I wish I had more time to make more of those or similar ones for some other friends, but time was against me on that one. Because yeah, I mean, that's kind of the end of all my finished objects. As I said, I haven't started anything new yet. I know, the restraint, it's amazing. Don't worry, I will start something soon. I still have my socks that I haven't done any work on because I'm going to use them as kind of travel knitting. And my poet, which is currently in a suitcase stored at my in-laws, that I will do some work on maybe later. In terms of life stuff, this is definitely my last podcast in this apartment. I know it all looks really civilized here right now, but believe me, if I panned my phone around, you would see the chaos that it is right now, because the removalists come end of next week. And everything will be on its way, and then we have 2 weeks holidaying, part of which is going to be in the UK and a little bit in Germany, and then the last part with my in-laws. So I may, if I have time, I might film another short little episode there, but we'll see, maybe not, I don't know. Otherwise the next podcast will be from Australia. Oh my gosh, it's coming so quickly and I'm super excited. What else is going on? I mean, that's it really. We're super busy. We've been doing lots of farewells, and much as we're really excited to be heading back home to Australia, it's still really sad. My daughter finished school and she's full of all the emotions. She was 3.5 or a bit older still, maybe almost 4 when we moved over here, and she's now 7.5. And so for a 7-year-old, she still has really great memories and still remembers a lot about Australia, but she feels her whole life is in Germany now. So she's been dealing with it really amazingly. She's a really resilient little girl. But it's still tough to say those farewells for her. But I think what's really helped is she is this week and part of next in the Hort, which is like the after school program. So they're running a holiday program. And I think it helped that she finished school last week, but she still gets to see some of her friends this week and next. So it was like not a total goodbye. And she's having a really good time this week, and we've got a few play dates lined up for her, so that yeah, she's feeling good about that. And she's been really good at going through her stuff and deciding what she wants to keep, and also gifting and letting go of a lot of her toys, because you know, she's at an age now where she's grown out of a lot of those more baby toddler things, and it's time to really say goodbye to them. She also, as I'm sure, you know, so many kids as well, when having had multiple birthdays and Christmases in lockdown over the last few years, was completely spoiled by friends and family and us, and has way too much stuff. So she's been doing a really good job. It's helped that she's had a few items that I've said, come on, let's sell them, and she gets to keep the money, and she wants to buy herself a skateboard when we get to Australia. So that has also helped as an incentive. I'm doing the same, letting go of a lot of stuff. My husband is trying. It's work, but we'll get there. So yeah, so that's really what's happening for us. But I'm looking forward to the removalists being here next week and having all of our stuff done, so that work is finished and we can relax a bit more and just enjoy our last few weeks here in Europe before heading home. But that's it for me. So I hope you're all having a magnificent day. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and a like, subscribe if you would like to see future videos, and otherwise thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.